There will be no great escape for Hamilton Academical as they have now officially been confirmed as relegated. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and Hamilton's hopes of staying in the Championship, or at least having a chance, an opportunity to stay in the Championship. Those hopes are gone. They have been dashed after a tribunal dismissed their appeal against a 15-point deduction. And you know what, it does kind of suck now because Hamilton are gone. There's going to be no real motivation for them in their final game of the season against Falkirk, and not only does it mean that we do not have a relegation battle in the Championship, which is called the best league in Scotland, the most exciting league in Scotland, but also now it kind of affects the title fight as well, because Hamilton will go into this game against Falkirk, and it would be natural for them to be downhearted. You know, they're going to be severely depressed. I can't imagine these Hamilton players are going into this game, the Hamilton fans, the Hamilton manager, the Hamilton management team, the club in general. I can't imagine they're going to go into this game against Falkirk, with much hope or anything, expectations. They're down. They're relegated, and it would be so much different if they were going into this Falkirk game knowing that potentially a win could keep them up in the league. Now, some people expected Hamilton to maybe get their 15 points reduced down to like maybe 9, and therefore that would give them a chance. I think that would put them 8 behind Airdrieonians or 7 behind Airdrieonians, and a win against Falkirk could have potentially kept them up, but that didn't happen. The entire 15-point deduction ended up staying in place, so that confirms that Hamilton are gone. And while it sucks, I guess, from a competitive standpoint, a neutral standpoint, and an exciting standpoint for people watching the league, you can't just be taking points off this deduction just to make it more exciting. You can't be giving Hamilton 6 points back just so that you can try and improve the final day and make it exciting and make it worth fighting for, and having a relegation battle and trying to make the title fight more interesting by having Hamilton with something to fight for against Falkirk. It doesn't. In an ideal world, if that would be the case, but if the 15-point deduction turns out to be fair, if it was necessary, if Hamilton weren't able to overturn that in the court, then I guess that proves that the 15-point deduction in the first place was warranted. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. David Martindale has spoken about this. He wanted the case to be... he wanted it to happen after the final match, which I can understand from his point of view, because if it happened after the final match, then Hamilton would still go out trying to win this in order to try and close the gap down in case some points did get added back on. But now, Hamilton know going into this game against Falkirk that they are 100% down. And you're just going to go into it with a totally different mindset. So, it does suck for them. But, it is what it is. Hamilton will be League One next season. They've been in League One recently before anyway. I do believe they will come back up. I think Hamilton will find their way into the Championship again. Will it be straight away? We don't know right now what's happening around the club. It could take them a while. They might not bounce back straight away, but I think Hamilton, if they can get sorted, if they fix their issues at the club, I do expect to see them sooner rather than later make their way back in to the Championship. And you've got other clubs that are in League One like Inverness, Caledonian Thistle, who you probably don't expect to be down in the third tier of Scottish football. So League One could be an interesting league for next season, definitely. But bigger focus on the Championship, I guess, and who's going to be playing Premiership football. Will it be Falkirk? Will it be Livingston? Hamilton can decide that. But what they can't decide is they can't decide that they're going to be playing Championship football next season, because that is gone. Now, Aki's chairman, Jock Brown, said in a website statement from the club that, quote, "The club is obviously very disappointed at the outcome of the appeal to the SFA Tribunal, where the decision of the SPFL Tribunal was held up with the result that the 15-point deduction stands. The board is prevented from making any further comment on the matter by SPFL regulations, but will communicate further with supporters in early course." End of quote. Now, yes, this does suck, but at the end of the day, Hamilton were found guilty of 4 offences, which added up to 15 points, and that's just the rules. If that's what the rule book says, if that's what the regulations say, then I guess Hamilton can't really argue. They haven't got maybe anyone else to blame but themselves. And I mean, we have seen multiple clubs this season get points deductions. I think there's been Dumbarton, obviously, who got one, Inverness Caledonian Thistle got one. Bonnyrigg Rose got one. So Hamilton, I think, are the fourth club this season to get a points deduction. Why I feel maybe a little bit, more aggrieved for Hamilton. I can sympathise with them a little bit more. And I think it's purely just because how late in the season. And look, I guess that's got nothing really to do with it. I mean, you can't just not give out the points deduction because it's late in the season. But I feel with the other teams, they still had an opportunity to save themselves. They had an opportunity to turn things around. This points deduction for Hamilton, it came so late in the season that it pretty much effectively did just relegate them. It was an absolute hammer blow. Had Hamilton got this 15-point deduction at the halfway point, I mean, who's to say that things couldn't have been different? Who's to say that they wouldn't have, accumulated more points from that point to this point? And they might have even, pulled back the necessary 15. But when you get it that late, and especially with how close it was beginning to look like, with about 6 games to go, it looked like we were getting a 4-way title fight, a 4-way relegation fight down the bottom of the table. But Hamilton put on a good run, and they managed to get themselves into 7th place. And without this points deduction, they would have been absolutely fine. But obviously they've got it, and now they're not fine. They're relegated. So absolutely sucks for them. But we'll see if they can fix things. But for now, Hamilton will be a League One team. And yeah, guys, that is it. Let us know your thoughts down below. And it puts a bit of a dampener on the game tomorrow for sure. But I still think Hamilton, it's our last championship game. They have a chance to go out on a high. They have a chance to get a win. They have a chance to prove potentially that they're not a League One side and that they don't deserve to be in League One by beating Falkirk and denying the team that has been, the best all season in the championship. Hamilton have a chance to deny them the title. So, it's not like it's all over and Hamilton are just going to turn up and lose 10-0 and not care. You can make a claim. You can make a case as to why Hamilton will still want to go out and perform to their best and win this match. And we'll just have to wait and see if that's what they do. But for now, guys, that's going to do it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Till then, though, peace.